2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Guyana attracting many new financial partners, including private international banks. Government looking to implement standard minimum wage to decrease disparity among teachers. Man nabbed with $1.2 million worth of cocaine in Georgetown. 2 killed after motorcycle crashes into bus shed in BERBICE. And educators to receive more training for updated curricula in schools. Now for the news in detail. In government's push for economic diplomacy globally, Guyana has attracted funding from several non-traditional financial entities, and new doors are continuously opening to assist in fulfilling the massive developmental plans. Here's Rupasine Ryan with our lead story tonight.
Speaking during his press conference on Thursday, Vice President Dr. Barajagdeo shared that government continues to develop relations with new agencies while maintaining traditional relationships. This has been credited to an aggressive agenda by President Dr. Irfan Ali.
The President has been engaged in a major push internationally on not political diplomacy but economic diplomacy. And so what he has done is open up a lot of doors to the financial institutions that we have had traditional relations with, and there are other new ones coming, appearing now, and we are developing relations with them.
He pointed to the recent signing of a $150 million memorandum of understanding with the Saudi Fund for Development to provide financing for infrastructural works.
If you go to the markets now, a US dollar-based loan base, because of the interest rate escalation, could be 5–6% now. And so it helps to still access funding through bilateral sources from these development agencies. And there are very few strings attached to these loans.
Last month, the Ali-led administration also signed a $200 million agreement with the Islamic Development Bank and a $350 million loan from Qatar. The Vice President has outlined that a lot of private banks are being explored as Guyana stands in a solid position to service such debt in the future when compared to other Caribbean countries.
We're exploring a lot of private banks. The big banks are discussing with us. That's what I meant by new agencies of a bilateral nature too. So they do need sovereign guarantees. The commercial ones, they don't need sovereign guarantees. But we're trying to fix the interest rate on all of them. That is why I've said so far that we're in a good position for most. If you look at the Caribbean, most of their loans are variable interest loans. So anytime, like how the interest rates move from near zero to now 6%, they're having a hard time in servicing those loans. We have only 2 variable rate loans, and they're both to multilateral agencies, not the private agencies. So that's why we're in a solid position to service that in the future. And it takes up a very small share now of our total revenue.
Rupasine Ryan, The Evening News.
In a continued investment towards improving teachers' work standards, President Dr. Irfan Ali has announced that the government is looking to implement a standard minimum wage to eliminate the disparity among teachers. Here is Pooja Rambaran with the details.
President Ali made this remark on Thursday during the opening of the Abrams Zool Secondary School in Region 2.
We're going to go all across the country to speak to teachers directly. We're considering now, looking from when we came into office, from 2020 to now, to ensure that within that period, all our teachers are on a standard basic minimum wage. So that a standard basic wage for the teachers. That is to avoid the disparity that exists. And we're going to correct that from 2020 to now as we're in office.
In late 2022, the government had announced salary adjustments for a number of categories of public sector employees, including members of joint services and healthcare workers. In May, Vice President Barajagdeo had expressed that the government was actively working on addressing the adjustment of teachers' salaries, as was done for these other public servants. Last month as well, President Ali had announced plans to deliver a comprehensive package to teachers that included sustainable housing. In addition to salary changes, the President on Thursday also highlighted plans to continue training teachers and making educational opportunities more accessible to them. This includes investing in a digitized platform to ensure that all teachers have the chance to become trained right in Essequibo.
We don't only want to stop as trained teachers, we want to have trained graduates. So we're ensuring that we build a platform to the extent that the Gold Scholarship Program is not only available to all teachers and students and whoever is coming out of the system, but that it is accessible. So the teachers now have the opportunity of becoming trained here, trained graduates right here. What that means? That means that our children would have better qualified teachers, more knowledgeable teachers, teachers who can deliver in a better way to the children. What that rebounds to is better results.
Ali added that the government is also looking to develop a system that pays attention to the incremental educational advancements of teachers and to ensure that they incentivize that development. Pooja Rambran for the Evening News.
Though the COVID-19 situation in Guyana is no longer extremely threatening, persons are still getting affected by the disease, and 2 persons are currently hospitalized in the COVID ICU. In the Stasia Dickinson report, Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony continues to encourage persons to get their booster doses, noting that vaccination is still ongoing.
Like the rest of the world, Guyana is seeing fewer persons getting infected with the COVID-19 diseases, and when they are, it is less threatening. On Friday, the country recorded 3 new cases of the virus, with 5 persons in institutional isolation, 39 persons in home isolation, and 3 in the intensive care unit. Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony, during a recent broadcast program, explained that though the situation is relatively calm, persons still ought to take precautions. He noted that in addition to other vaccines, authorities are offering the bivalent vaccine. Guyana had in March of this year received a large quantity of this type of vaccine, which was formulated to provide better protection against COVID.
We have also been doing our vaccinations, although right now not a lot of people are coming for booster doses. But in Guyana, we do have the bivalent vaccines that has the ancestral strain and some of the current strain, which is really good. It's the same thing that you have in the US. So we have that here. And as part of our treatment protocol, we also have Paxlovid. So if somebody do get infected and they need treatment, we have Paxlovid available for them. So our protocol is almost a similar thing that how you treat a patient in the US, and we have the medications available.
Moreover, he reiterated that the infectious disease hospital is still dealing with COVID patients, but is also intaking persons with other respiratory illnesses.
We do have the hospital at Liliendal, where we have about 198 beds, and we have an ICU and so forth. So far, we haven't had patients with COVID being hospitalized because, as I said, we're seeing a much milder form. Now, we have repurposed that hospital to keep other patients, and we have been looking at patients with other types of infectious diseases, such as TB and other things. So we maintain the staff, but just in case if there's a surge, we have mechanisms in place to move very quickly to deal with those patients.
To date, 1,298 persons have died as a result of the virus in Guyana. Last month, the World Health Organization declared that COVID-19 no longer represents a global health emergency, a major step towards the end of the pandemic that has killed more than 6.9 million people, disrupted the global economy, and ravaged communities. Tasia Dickinson, The Evening News.
Rum producers have called on the Caribbean community, CARICOM, to facilitate the expansion of new markets for premium rum exports. During a meeting with senior officials of CARICOM held in Georgetown on Wednesday, producers contended that the region is well positioned to capitalize on new non-traditional markets. Further, they emphasized that the region possesses high-quality products, packaging, and ample production capacity to take full advantage of emerging opportunities in those markets. According to Kumal Samaru, the outgoing chairman of the grouping and chairman of the local conglomerate Demerara Distillers, the Caribbean is known as the birthplace of rum and has a reputation for producing premium and super premium products. Speaking at a recent reception hosted by Demerara Distillers, Guyana's Prime Minister, Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, congratulated the industry on its achievements and pledged the continuing support of the government to the industry's growth in the international market. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Fuck off. The Oreos belong to us.
No, they belong to whoever finds them first.
Get your Oreo Transformers Limited Edition and awaken the beast.
Turbo Energy Drink rolling out the Turbo Hot Summer Wheels promotion. Win a brand new 2023 Honda HR-V. Plus over $3 million in weekly cash and prizes. Just grab any bottle of Turbo Energy Drink, Buster or Classic, and locate the 8-digit code on the bottle. Then visit Turbo IG and Facebook at Turbo_Caribbean. For more details, conditions apply.
Isuzu D-Max, built to work. Whether it's mining, construction, agriculture, or just adventure, Isuzu D-Max does the job. Put it to the test. Isuzu D-Max, engineered to keep every promise. Marex is the authorized dealer for all Isuzu products. Marex, telephone 226-1482 and 226-1306.
Sally's Boutique is the place to shop when looking for quality high-end men and women footwear, wristwear, wallets, and clothing. Follow us on Instagram, Sally's Boutique GY. We're located at Charlotte Street between Camp and Wellington Streets. Contact us on 231-7519. That's 231-7519. WhatsApp 613-9578. That's 613-9578. Sally's Boutique, the new home of Clark's.
Did you know that when you leave your property unoccupied and unmanaged, it deteriorates much faster than you can imagine? Then before you know it, much of your hard-earned investment is wasted. At Hand in Hand Trust Corporation, property management is our business. Whether you travel for long periods, live overseas, or have several properties that require managing, let us at Hand in Hand Trust Corporation take care of this for you. Your property is safe with us. Hand in Hand Trust Corporation Incorporated, a member of the Hand in Hand Group of Companies.
Virtual Keno. It's a game of numbers. Choose your lucky numbers and win up to 10,000 times your stake. Visit www.superbet.gy to place your bets. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly. Superbet, your best bet.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. CANU, in a release, has said that agents of the unit were conducting an operation in the vicinity of Princess Street, Work in West Georgetown, when they observed Austin carrying a plastic bag. Upon seeing the CANU team, Austin attempted to dispose of the bag. He was, however, intercepted, and the bag was retrieved and searched, during which a brick-like parcel containing suspected cocaine was found. Austin was taken to CANU headquarters with the package, where a test conducted on the substance confirmed it to be cocaine. The cocaine was weighed in Austin's presence and amounted to 1.1 kilograms, almost 2.4 pounds, which has a street value of about 1.2 million. Austin remains in custody pending charges. Our BERBICE correspondent Andrew Carmichael joins us now to report that a motorcyclist and a pillion rider are now dead after the motorbike they were traveling on crashed into a concrete bus shed along the number 68 Village Public Road, currently in BERBICE, during the wee hours of Monday. And even though the crash occurred a few days ago, family members say even the police have been withholding information from them. Here is this story.
Dead are 38-year-old Harin Ryan Ramnot and 17-year-old Rohano Rishi Ram, both of number 60 Village quarantine. Police say the motorcycle they were riding was proceeding at a fast rate of speed when the 38-year-old rider lost control of the vehicle whilst negotiating a turn on the road, causing it to crash into a concrete bus shed along the number 68 Village Public Road. The duo was picked up and taken to the Skeldon Hospital, where they were pronounced dead. However, the back rim of the motorcycle wheel was broken, suggesting that it was an impact from the back. According to Rishi Ram's parents, the laborer was playing superbet and won about $200,000 and left the village along with Ramnot to go to CURRICULA to cash out his winnings. The crash occurred on the way back home.
Maybe they went and do some other stuff, I don't know, but he's not a drinker that would consume so much of alcohol. He just take a beer or two, maybe two sips or something, and that's all for him. He don't really drink that much. And whilst they were coming back, they met with the accident at Roadside Baptist Church, near to the opposite Baptist Church.
Did the persons tell you who were there if it's an animal reserve, or what might have happened? Did anybody?
No. Well, from the hospital, I go to the site of the accident because I know the guy that is living opposite. I was told that he has video cameras, and I asked him to get them to see it or to have some details from it or transfer it to my phone, and he said he cannot give. He said if he gave, that will cause a lot of problems.
Now I just sleep by friend night time, and he say just sleep, he come home. Tuesday morning, when his friend come and say if me okay, me tell him yeah, me okay. He say sit down. He put me by the step, sit down. He asked me sure me okay, me tell him yes. When he down he say you gotta go say Roa and we accident, and he walk out here. The friend walk out. Couple minutes more, phone call come, one go my ID card and van paper in the hospital.
And normal every afternoon he used to go cow pen cow. And he ended up up in cow 4 o'clock. And the whole night I look for him, I look out and he not come. And normal 1 o'clock until something is to come and he hang out. So I wait he not come until they clean. And when they clean now, we decide to come out and start around the village to see where he there because he left up in cow. And happened so I see him in the village, so I say I call the station because I say I'm in the patrol, I pick up him. So I call toll gate say I call 51, he say there. So I say I call Spring Runs now. I call and say how if my husband get a motorbike. I say yes, and they ask me the number plate number, and then I tell them, and then tell me how yes, my husband got an accident.
Family members of both dead men say they tried to obtain information from residents of the area, and all they were told is that a policeman was the first person on the scene and he called the patrol from Skeldon.
We, the family, we were asking that we cannot say 100% what really causes the accident. The only thing that we could do is to see the clips, see the video that the guy has.
And we really want to know because if me see what happened when I make a satisfied. That's all I know about my husband. When I do find my husband, I find him mattress.
Meanwhile, police say autopsies were conducted on the bodies on Friday, but gave no further details on the incident. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
In wake of the oil boom and countless opportunities for persons on the coast, the government is taking steps to propel agriculture in the hinterland in order to ensure that those communities also benefit from national development. Find out more in this Rupasina Ryan report.
Vice President Dr. Parrot Jagdeo disclosed that as Guyana leads the food security agenda in the Caribbean, simultaneous efforts are being made at bolstering the country's agricultural sector, especially for the benefit of hinterland communities. This is having realized that remote communities will be disenfranchised in benefiting from oil.
It's unique to the hinterland. So a lot of, we got to focus. Those communities can't do much on oil and gas. That is why we have to push the agri-investment so that our people who live in these regions are not left behind in the remote regions of the country, that they are not left behind in the national development. We want all of our people to move forward in every region.
In Region 1, a nursery is being considered to produce plantain suckers after residents have complained of the high cost for one sprout. However, the Vice President noted that this is just the beginning. The intention is to export from the region directly to the Caribbean, avoiding the competition with coastal prices. For this, he added that government is willing to invest in facilities or enter a co-investment venture to get it done.
We're looking to establish a major nursery there. And so the Ministry of Agriculture will go there and look in to see if we can upgrade certification so our products can sail directly into the Caribbean from these areas without having to come to the coast. Because the coast can't be a market for their plantain. They would face serious competition from growers who are producing on the coast already. The government is prepared to put the investment in, even co-investing in processing facilities with business. So if they produce this stuff, we can co-invest with someone to get this done.
In the local drive towards enhancing food production, government is fostering discussions with foreign counterparts. In the case of India, they are looking at spices and doubling rice and sugar output. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
In a bid to overhaul and improve the curricula in schools, educators across the country are being trained. Tassie Dickinson reports that, having already undergone one round of training, educators will soon embark on Phase 2 of that exercise. Here are the details.
Phase 2 of the National Training for Renewed Curricula for Grades 1 to 9 is scheduled to commence in July and will run until November. The exercise, spearheaded by the National Center for Educational Research Development, NCERD, will see educators from private and public schools in Regions 1, 7, 8, and 9 trained to successfully apply the revised curriculum. Phase 1 of the exercise was successfully rolled out in Regions 2, 3, 6, and 10 in June 2022. Director of NCERD, Cunita Waldron-Lewis, had explained that the 4 core subject areas, science, social studies, English language, and mathematics, underwent retooling. Students are set to benefit from a new curriculum that embraces their different learning abilities. The curriculum aims to introduce new learning techniques that will focus on an interactive approach to learning and includes exercise that supports physical and socio-economical well-being among learners. Additionally, students will be exposed to a rounded learning experience that includes the development of interpersonal and social skills as well as literacy and numerical competencies. Waldron-Lewis explained that while in-person training will conclude in November, virtual learning communities will be sustained even after the initial training ends. This initiative is part of the Ministry of Education's commitment to providing quality education to all students. Tassia Dickinson, The Evening News.
Despite plastic pollution remaining a significant concern globally, plastic production continues to grow exponentially, reaching about 430 million tons. In Latin America and the Caribbean, about 17,000 tons of plastic waste are disposed of in improper facilities on a daily basis. But change is possible and can be made through an integrated effort. Here's this story from Pooja Rambaran.
According to United Nations Environment Programme Representative Jordi Pon, these numbers can be improved with a concerted effort across the region, as he noted that 30% of plastics from short-lived products are avoidable and can be reduced. Pon relayed this on Thursday during a webinar on the state of our environment, Our Plastic World, hosted by Trinidad and Tobago-based Caraboys and the Cropper Foundation.
For those plastics that are actually not necessarily that are those that are short-lived products or this over-packaging, this can be that those that are avoidable and even problematic, that are difficult to recycle, this can be reduced at least 30%. So the first message is that we need to reduce the size of the problem. So we need to produce and consume less plastics, and this is possible at least 30%.
To do so, he explained that 3 major market shifts can be made towards a circular plastics economy. This is a sustainable model where plastics are reused and recycled at the end of their lifespan. These shifts are accelerating the market for reusable products, accelerating the market for plastic recycling, and reorienting and diversifying the market for sustainable and safe plastic alternatives. This can save a significant amount of money by 2040.
This also has an economic language. We did also estimated that shifting to this circular economy, because we are increasing the efficiency of our overall economic system, but particularly, and this is a conservative estimate, we are avoiding the social and the environmental costs that the public sector and the taxpayers are contributing, and not the upstream and the pollution at source. So we are saving a massive amount of resources by 2040 if we move towards this circular economy approach.
Pon noted that many countries in the region have taken efforts to reduce or ban the use of single-use plastics. While this ban has been considered by the Environmental Protection Agency in Guyana for several years now, a full ban as such has still not been implemented. Ronald Roach of consulting firm Unite Caribbean explained that there are several challenges to the development of recycling in small island developing states.
High shipping costs. The material that is collected has to be shipped out at this point in time because there aren't sufficient volumes to generate local activity, local processing. Lack of responsibility beyond the export. So what happens to the product when it leaves here? It's something beyond our control, and it can end up in places that are not sustainably recycling, and you can end up dumping in other countries. And importing port regulations. So recyclable products can be seen as waste, and there are some regulations that may prohibit materials from going to different countries.
Pooja Rembrandt for the Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Saturday, June 24th at 21 hours 30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Saturday, June 24th at 7 hours 40 for a period of 1.5 hours.
National cycling time trials pedal off tomorrow, and West Indies to play Zimbabwe in crucial match tomorrow. Details of these stories in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Turbo energy drink rolling out the Turbo Hot Summer Wheels promotion. Win a brand new 2023 Honda HR-V plus over $3 million in weekly cash and prizes. Just grab any bottle of Turbo energy drink, Buster or Classic, and locate the 8-digit code on the bottle. Then visit Turbo IG and Facebook at Turbo_Caribbean for more details. Conditions apply.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles.
Look out! The Oreos belong to us. No, they belong to whoever finds them first.
Get your Oreo Transformers Limited Edition and awaken the beast.
Moving, lifting, or bending, whatever the job, we at Sylvie's Variety Store have the right tools to make it happen. Pallet jacks and hand trucks for bonds and industrial sites, easy pickup and convenient maneuvers. Chain hoist from Roughneck and Northern Industrial, the perfect solution to lifting heavy objects. And then there's the 12-ton and 16-ton hydraulic pipe benders from 1/2 to 2 inch. We also stock the shop press machine from Northern Industrial. Sylvie's Variety Store stocks the tools to make it happen.